Hello, it's Philip Carr-Gomm. Welcome to another Tea with the Druid session. And I hope this finds you well and that you're doing well. Do type in if you are there, say where you're from. It helps me know that I'm not speaking to the void, and it gives a nice feeling of community as well. So Brian from Michigan, hi, and Daniel, hi. That's great. Wendy from Vancouver, lovely to see you. That's great. So we know that it's working. Munich and Mervyn, hooray. Ellie, Kent, lovely. That's lovely to see. And it's always lovely to imagine that we're in a clearing in the woods together, perhaps a small fire burning in the center, the smell of wood smoke, us gradually gathering round from all sorts of different directions. Great. So I'll tell you what I wanted to explore with you tonight. And let's start exploring it with a moral question. Imagine this. Imagine you are in the house of somebody you don't know very well. Perhaps somebody has invited you to stay in their house. Maybe they're there, or maybe they've gone away. Maybe you've done a house swap. You don't know them very well at all. And you're in the bathroom. And you see a bottle of perfume. And you're intrigued. And the question is this: do you try it out? Maybe just have a think about that and just tell me whether you would try it out or not. It's kind of an interesting one, I think, because there are obvious moral choices we have to make. Should I kill that person who just annoyed me? Well, obviously not. But in this case, it's not quite clear-cut. And whilst you're thinking about it and deciding whether it's okay to do that, whether you would mind if somebody who was staying at your place tried your perfume out, I'll tell you why I'm asking you this. A while back, I did a house swap with somebody who we didn't know at all, a very successful artist in London. And Stephanie was away, so it was just me, and we were staying in his incredible house in London with incredible views across to the Shard and this wonderful kind of Gothic bedroom and all the rest of it. And I went into the bathroom in the evening and I saw a little bottle of perfume, and I decided to try it. And it was called, and the reason why, my excuse is because I'm a spiritual seeker, its title was Incense. And so I had to, for purposes of research, the moral question was I had to try it out. And so I got this little thing and I went puff, puff, puff like that. And the smell is just absolutely fantastic. It's made by Comme des Garçons. When I went out into London, I bought a bottle for myself, and I'm so pleased. It's a beautiful, beautiful smell that is like incense, really. Lots of strong notes of frankincense and pine and so on. So I can still see lots and lots of people piling in from Germany and Berkshire and Faversham and Bavaria. So I hope you're not shocked by the moral choice I made, but I felt it was okay. And the reason I bring this up is this: well, why would one even question the fact? Well, because it's very personal, isn't it? I mean, you probably wouldn't do it if you went into the bathroom at, say, somebody you knew where you didn't know them very well. You were invited to a dinner party and you went to the bathroom during the meal. You wouldn't spray yourself with it and come back out and sit down smelling of the lady of the house's perfume, would you? So it's kind of sensitive, and it's a very personal thing. It's a very personal thing, perfume. But I thought about it this morning because a plan I set in motion a year ago has come to fruition. And it was very simple. Petra had said, no, I wouldn't. Beth, I'd be too freaked out to touch anything. Mila, I wouldn't try it. Oh dear, help. Erica, I might give it a whiff. I would smell it, but not try it, says Brian. Gosh, I would not do that. I like my own smell. Hooray. Okay, anyway, we're all different. So this morning, I walked out of the house and I smelt this beautiful perfume in the air. And I was walking with Stephanie by the river a year ago to the day almost, when we walked past a bush that had the most beautiful fragrance coming from it. It was so beautiful. And it immediately sent me into this kind of transcendent state, it's a joyous state. And I found out what it was, and it's a plant called winter box. And so my son Lawrence kindly bought 2 bushes for us and a winter box, and it's finally come into flower. We planted it last year in February, March, and it's come into flower now. It's a box, little bush, has black berries and small white flowers, and the perfume that it creates is absolutely wonderful, absolutely wonderful. And every morning when I step out, and the flowers last a long time through the winter as well. What's nice about it is it's in flower during the winter, when we're not used to smelling flowers really. And when I connect with the smell, the first thing I noticed is the way it evokes for me both specific memories but also universal ones. What I mean by that is a universal experience. So what happens is it immediately summarizes for me, it reminds me of New Zealand, and we had a wonderful year there in 2000, and we spent a whole year there, and that smell seems to crystallize or to create in its essence all the memories of that wonderful year we spent in New Zealand in this one perfume. And then I thought about it as I stood breathing in and out the first time I smelt winter box. I thought, this is interesting, because on the one hand, what perfume is doing is it's being very specific. It's reminding us of specific memories, perhaps calling to mind a specific person, a specific time in one's life. And yet at the same time, I don't know if you find this, but I think it must be pretty universal. At the same time, it's non-specific. It takes me to another world which is not specific. It's not concrete. It's not of this world in a way. So whenever you get a paradox, I think the divine is there. The divine is there in paradox. And so for me, the reason why perfume is so powerful is because it contains this paradoxical, it offers this paradoxical of both engaging me more in the sensual world, more in the world of specificity, of specifics, of memories, of people, with moments, with places. So specifics, engaging in this physical, beautiful world that we're in. But at exactly the same time, it does the opposite. It takes me out of all that to this divine world, which is why I think it's used in religious ceremonies. This is what incense does. So excuse me, isn't that interesting that it can deepen our experience of this world, but also open us to an experience of the other world, to the transcendent. And in a way, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking in a spiritual way, that's what I'm looking for. And in my life, I'm looking for that. And I guess you probably are as well. It's like what we're looking for is, how can I be more engaged in this beautiful world and challenging world that I'm in? How can I be more engaged in it? How can I be more engaged with my fellow humans and animals and plants and trees and the world of nature and of humanity? And at the same time, how can I feel the divine more? How can I taste, connect with the transcendent, if you want to call it that, the other world, the divine, deity? And so, in a fundamental way, our experience with perfume is, I think, not logic. It goes beyond logic. I'm talking about it here, trying to be logical about it. But of course, one of the reasons why it's such a beautiful and powerful experience is it's not logical. Isalinda is saying, I love flowers, perfumes. You walk in a garden and you smell the delicious smell. And it's beyond words. You can't explain it. It just transports you. That's, I guess, what the whole perfume industry is based upon, is its ability to transport us. And of course, if you're into aromatherapy, as I'm sure many of you are, then there are all sorts of reasons. We can talk about all sorts of reasons why aroma works so well. Jamesina, I wouldn't mind if someone tried my perfume. Hope they liked it. Think I may have had a cheeky whiff if it was out on show. Yes, that's exactly how it feels, a bit cheeky, but, you know, anyway, that's what I did. Yeah, definitely been there, says Jenny. Yes. Okay. So let's work with this now. Let's work with the way that perfume can both engage us in this physical world more deeply and connect us to the divine by entering into a meditation, which is what we do in these tea sessions. And so this is an invitation for you to join in a meditation with people all over the world. There are people, if you've been looking at the comments from the Netherlands, from Germany, from South America, from Portugal, from all over Britain, from the States, so all over the place, and usually from New Zealand and Iceland and France as well. So here's an opportunity to meditate together, but also to meditate on our own too. Again, another lovely paradox. We're completely safe and self-contained, as it were, on our own, meditating. And if we want to, we can be Winter Box is exquisite. Please read Jitterbug Perfume by Tom Robbins, a wonderful tale about perfumiers and about how finding the right mix of perfume will make you immortal, not immoral, as I was about to read. And they find the great god Pan along the way. Highly recommended from Penny. Fantastic Penny. I shall put that on my reading list. So let's go into meditation now. And you can either do it now or do it later. Just watch and do it later. But here's the invitation to just close your eyes, if that helps, to better concentrate on yourself. And just to be aware of yourself seated in front of your computer or your screen. But even as you do that, you can, if you like, allow yourself just to let go. To take in a deep breath, hold it for a moment. And as you let your breath out, you just feel yourself relaxing more deeply, feeling softer, more relaxed, breathing in awareness and clarity. And as you breathe out, relaxing deeply. And if it helps, imagining that you're in a sacred grove, a clearing in the forest, in the woods, the earth beneath you. And you can sense the power of the earth, the stability of the earth. You sense all the life in the earth. All the creatures, the stones, the minerals, the water in the soil. And you just allow all your tensions to drift into the earth. Allowing yourself to tune into the energy of the earth, making you feel stable, relaxed, calm. And you become aware of the trees around you rooted deep in the earth. their roots stretching deep down into the earth, their trunks rising up, these trees around you, bringing their protection and their power. Our brothers and sisters, the trees. Their branches and leaves stretching out above you. And you breathe in the trees, and it's possible that you can smell the trees, the smell of the forest. Breathing in and breathing out. And you become aware of the sky above you. And as you breathe in the energy of the sky. And the energy of the sky meets the energy of the earth within the center of your being. And now, seated here in this grove, let's just do an experiment. Just close your inner eyes. So you sense yourself in the clearing. And then imagine, if you will, the smell of honeysuckle, one of the plants of the Carr-Gomm tree alphabet, the tree alphabet of the Druids. Somewhere in the grove there's some honeysuckle growing. And see if you can smell that honeysuckle. Nothing to think or do, just breathing in and breathing out the perfume of the honeysuckle. And if you can't smell anything, if you find it hard to sense this or imagine this, just try this. Try pretending that you can. Another word for imagining. Just pretend that you can smell it. Doesn't matter if you can't, just pretend you can. And just breathe it in and out through your nose. And now see if you can tune in to the smell of the earth, to a kind of mossy smell that you can detect, perhaps as an undertone or as a background tone behind or beneath the smell of the honeysuckle, smell of moss and soil. And again, if you can't smell it, or even if you can, but only faintly, think of it like a muscle that you're exercising. We're all exercising our imaginative muscles, if you like. The more we do an experiment like this, the stronger it can become, the better we can become at doing this. See if there's, am I imagining it, or can I smell hyacinth now? And see if you are smelling perfumes or a perfume. See if it depends upon your nose, or in this state of meditation, is it just in your aura? Is it somehow mysteriously and magically just there in your consciousness? And feel what it's doing to your energy field. Is it perhaps bringing a color into your aura, into your energy field? And now notice how your body's feeling. And retaining any feelings of well-being, pleasant feelings that you might be having in your body. Gradually allow your awareness of the perfumes to fade, of the sacred grove to fade too. We give thanks to the trees around us, to the sky above us, to the earth beneath us. And our awareness of being seated in the sacred grove begins to fade, as each of us becomes aware of being seated in front of our computer or our laptop or our telephone, fully present in the here and now, fully present here, looking at the screen. And now I'm reading some comments. Beth is smelling jasmine, honeysuckle, and rose. Rose, lavender, and oranges, and so more. Lovely. That's lovely. So I hope I'd be really do type your experience. If you didn't smell anything and you found that meditation hard, please say so. That would be interesting to know. I think we have a rather unique situation here where there's a whole lot of us all over the world trying out particular meditations. So we have the possibility to learn from each other, to see whether techniques help and work and whether other techniques don't. Saoirse loves the smell of wet dog. Yes, I know, it's a very homely smell. It's like I love the smell of horses, a horse's neck when you get close to it. Gosh, it smells good. Let's see, there are lots of queries here. Bluebells, hyacinth was so strong, says Sandy. Nettles, Jan. Chris, first I had to pretend to smell something, but then I did. That's a really interesting one. It's a little trick you learn when you're helping people in guided visualization. If you're working with a client, say in psychotherapy, and you say, close your eyes and imagine you can see a house. And the person says, no, I can't see anything. And then you say, well, if you could see a house, what would you be seeing? And then they say, well, it's 2 stories, it's got 4 windows, it's got a door. So it's just a way of kind of getting around our inhibitions and our beliefs that, perhaps we can't do things that we can. Brian had an interesting complex emotion because honeysuckle is invasive. That's not the case in the UK, as far as I know, Brian. But in Iowa, apparently it's invading the oak hickory forest. So yes, a complicated emotion because smell touches on our emotions too and our thoughts. Charisma smell water like running river and grass. Hazel said it was difficult for me as honeysuckle is very much out of season. Funny enough, it was very difficult for me too because I'd squirted this Comme des Garçons incense all over me. So it was very hard to override that smell. Fernaril is saying it's the memory of smells rather than the smell itself. But of course, that's a thought in a way. It'd be interesting to explore that and try and let go of your rational mind that's saying this experience is a memory and just experience it in its pure form without labeling it as a memory or as real in inverted commas. Gosh, how I love the smell of wet earth. Lovely. Oh, well, it seems like quite a few of you really did smell a lot of stuff. So that's great. So that's a meditation, of course, we can do it anytime. And what's lovely is to spend longer with it and to travel on it, just like one might travel, say, with a power animal, travel with a scent. In other words, every time your mind wanders away from the experience of the perfume, you just go back to it and just return to experiencing the perfume. Your mind goes away, you notice it. It's good that you've noticed it. This is good because it's training the attention. Your mind goes back to it. So it's a way of being mindful. It's a way of meditating. It's a way of training and developing the attention. So it's all good stuff. So have a lovely week. It's been lovely as ever doing one of these tea sessions with you. And I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful week. Much love, and see you again next week. Okay, bye. And I'll read all your comments and after I've had a cup of tea. Okay, bye.